In this video, I've got another diary of the desperate driver. We're going to be focused on one of the 911 drivers, that one there, the Valvoline blue and white Porsche, who gets into a lot of trouble in the opening part of this race at Interlagos. It's one of the daily races this week. He loses his head, in my opinion, and then kicks off, and then he settles down towards the end of the race. Hey, if you're new around here, please smack that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. It'd be great if you could help me. So we're on board with my car. I'm in the Peugeot RCZ, which is a pretty quick car around here. Not quite sure what the meta car is at the moment, but this is certainly one of the ones that is in the top tier at the moment, so that's the reason why I went for it. And my main aim with this daily race was just to try and have a clean race, stay out of trouble and try to build my DR. And you'll see at Interlagos this is really difficult, and it all kicks off into the first few corners. So here we get the orange car goes up the inside of me. I've left the door open, perfectly okay. It's gone a bit wide, comes across and just collects me on the apex. Not too much of a problem there. We've been respectful and that's all okay. Things are kicking off in front of us. He then makes the move for the middle of the two cars, and then it looks like he's actually trying to pump me off. And I thought, what are you doing? Then I get hit from behind here. I get into the subject of this video. He exits stage right, and I carry on with a whole load of cars that are coming around me. And I'm just really not in the mood now for this particular race, because I'm just falling further and further back, wondering what on earth happened. Thinking about what's the replay going to show. I get it wrong into this corner because now I'm just trying a little bit too hard. I've now got dirty tyres. I want to get back onto the Hurricane in front, and it just really goes from bad to worse. Not only that, I've got cold tyres because it's the first lap, and then as we're going into this corner, I get it all wrong again, which enables the orange car to just come up the inside of me, hits me. There's nothing he could do about that. That was completely my fault. So I've not got any problems with the orange car at all. But watch this. We get our friend come in, a full-on punt off the track, and then in the chat he puts payback. Well, payback for what? So if we just look at this in a little bit more detail with the slow motion, we've got the orange car here who goes for a gap between myself and the Porsche that we've got the issue with. The Porsche then moves over to give him a clout, which pushes him into me. Now I thought it was him hitting me. It wasn't. It was the Porsche. This is it from the Supra's point of view. So you can see that the Porsche is already moving over really aggressively to take us out. We both get into problems. I managed to gather it up on the grass, and as we go into this corner, the Peugeot's on the grass. He brakes late and bashes me, pushes me into the Porsche. I'm full on the brakes, but the Porsche is going round. He enters stage right, as I've said, and considers that I have invoked that and caused a problem. So this is the reason why you don't want to call people out in the race until you've actually seen the replay, because you don't always know what has happened to lead up to the incident. And sometimes it can be a little bit more innocent than you think. So let's now spend the rest of the video looking at this race from our desperate driver's point of view. So as we're coming down into the first corner, he's lining up behind the 911 in front, who goes defensive. Our 911 tries to go around the outside, doesn't quite get that pulled off because it's gone a little bit too deep, so he has to tuck in behind. He gets a punt from behind by this Peugeot, another hit there. Then he gets hit by the Mercedes coming through, cars all over the place. Now again he gets the orange car that comes up. He's had enough of everything, moves over to the left, takes both of us out. He's now up the inside of me. I get hit, pushed into the 911. I'm on the brakes, but I can't brake heavily enough, and bang, around he goes. So he's got really, really roughed up in the early part of this race. It's a really dirty start to this race, absolute nightmare. And actually later on in the race he drives really, really well, this car. It's a real shame, but as we go into this corner, the white car has had enough of his shenanigans and decides to try and punt him off. That fails, so our dirty driver, or our desperate driver I should say, comes back and punts off the white one. as much to say, there you are, your fault. The game picks up that as a really, really nasty move, so it gives this car a massive 3-second penalty. But he's not done yet, because I've messed up. He's now right behind me, and of course he assumes that I punted him off at the last corner. Well, I did, but I was hit from behind, so he deliberately punts me off. I then get that little serves you right, as in payback note on the screen, which in my mind was a little bit uncalled for, and then away we go. So he's serving his 3-second penalty right now. So he's way, way, way off the pace, and he has a lot of work now to do to catch up to some of the back markers, which he does by the end of the race, because he is actually a pretty good racer. He's certainly better than me. But this is another example. You've got overtaking prohibited, we've got yellow flags, so we know that there's a problem. So what happened? Well, what happened was this McLaren got it out on the grass, he spun it around, and he spun it so badly in the middle of the track that the game actually reset him and spawned him right in the middle of the track. There we go. Our desperate driver comes around, just pulls straight in the back, so no consideration of the yellow flag and that there might be a car in the way. So as he comes around the corner, you see the car spawns right in front of him. He's got plenty of time to actually take avoiding action, but in my mind, no, he just punts him out of the way and then carries on. So although he's been driving quite well up to this point after the initial incidents, in my mind he comes up with another needless punt on the McLaren, whose race is over anyway. And well, to be fair, our Porsche's race is over as well, really. But he actually races really, really nicely. So I'm just going to jump the video forward to partway through lap number 3, which is coming up towards the end of it. He's caught up with the cars in front, so they're doing really, really well. He's just on the back of this Mercedes at the moment. The Mercedes goes slightly wide. Maybe he knows this guy is being a little bit rammy, so he's giving him loads of room there, far more than he needs, which enables our driver to make a nice clean move up the inside. As we head down into this first corner, we've got the Mercedes up the inside. Our guy loses his head again, spins it round, puts it on the grass, and now he's back behind the Mercedes. So he's done a really nice move and then messed it up. So let's jump forward now to lap number 5 towards the end of the race, where he's managing to catch up with the orange Mercedes and the green Lamborghini. They're both having an argument which went on for quite a while. Well, not an argument, just a nice battle. No argument about it at all, just a battle together, which has enabled our Porsche to get onto the back of this little group. He lined himself up really, really nicely here for the Mercedes going up the hill, possibly picking up a bit of a slipstream. And previously, I've cut some of this video out because it's very long, but this 911 has driven really, really nicely when he is in clean air, so he's clearly a good driver. So come into the first corner here, the two cars in front brake quite early. Our 911 does a really nice move through those two corners, which is really setting him up beautifully as we come down this long straight. Clearly got a slipstream now, although he's staying slightly out to the left, so he's not using all of the slipstream. Now he picks up the slipstream, braking hard. The Mercedes goes defensive on the inside. Our driver just takes the normal racing line, which is completely setting him up beautifully for this corner. The two cars in front having a bit of an argument again, racing hard. The Mercedes goes up the inside, the Lamborghini leaving the door open a little bit, so that's a fair move. Our car then makes a move up the inside of the Lamborghini. Again, the door slightly open. He makes that one stick, a slight rub of the doors. The Lamborghini comes back, gives him a little bit of a tap, but our Porsche gathers that up quite nicely. And now he's chasing down this Mercedes. Just the last few corners of this lap left. The Mercedes gets slightly wide there. The 911 has got it really gathered up very nicely. He's got it very smooth. Braking down into first gear for this corner. Again, the Hurricane gets into the back of the 911, gives him a small nudge, but that doesn't unsettle him. Can he get by the Mercedes in front? He's out of the slipstream, unfortunately, which looks like he's just not quite got enough speed to get the Mercedes. As we cross the line, the Mercedes actually beat the 911, but a really great race towards the end when I was watching that. And it was such a shame that we opened up with such dirty driving initially. This Porsche losing his head massively at the early part of the race and getting a little bit desperate, but then showed just how well he can race towards the end of the race. It was just a real shame that it all kicked off needlessly at the very beginning of the race. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Diary of Dirty Racing Driver. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you on another video coming very soon. For now, take care. Bye-bye.